Hello and welcome back to my channel, and thanks for rejoining me with my solo RuneQuest campaign. A recap on our last session. The characters, having arrived in Silverford, had a pleasant night's stay in the welcoming Silver Inn, where they were briefed as to the details of their mission by the village elders. The next morning, they are interested in inquiring as to how they can re-equip, exploring the village, and also checking for signs of chaos in that order. So it's a fine day and the sun is warm overhead, and what I have done is I have started creating a map of the village of Silverford, and have landmarks in it that we have already either passed by or have had pointed out to us immediately by some of the occupants of the Silver Inn. So we arrived the previous night across the ferry, and we passed the ferryman's cottage. We went through the gate post, which was a kind of rudimentary gate post that had been created. We haven't gone to the smithy yet, but that is Hrothgar's smithy. The village longhouse has been pointed out to us. We are now staying in the Silver Inn, and that is what we are emerging from just now. We are currently, as I said, looking for this building here, which is Thrain the Outfitters, which has been pointed out to us by some helpful residents in the Silver Inn. What a wonderful place it is to stay. Let me just get this this beautiful RuneQuest book just slightly out of the way so that I can get the full attention required on this village map. And at the centre of Silverford lies a broad grassy green. It is now turning amber as the seasons shift. A stone well stands at its heart, adorned with old runic carvings worn smooth by generations of hands. Children run in circles around it, their laughter bright, but do the characters sense a tinge, an edge? They seem to be stealing glances at the tree line often, so the trees are over here beyond this rudimentary fence that has been recently, well, they call it a stockade now, but it's very, very weak. And they keep on, the children running around the well in the village green, and they keep on stealing glances at this tree line often, as if checking they're still safe in the daylight. So even in this bright daylight, there does seem to be a bit of a chill settling over Silverford. Is it the effect of the chaos, the corruption that is starting to affect this region? So, walking past the green out of the front door, they seek the outfitter, and they are pointed in this direction to go to this building here, which is Thrain the Outfitter. And we have our characters. Let us have them organized. I'll just move this out of the way just now so we can get to the outfitter's shop. And I will use one of my little tiles that I have, which I like to use for my hero quests, my advanced hero quest, and this is one of my little tiles that I can have. And we can have our characters come into this shop, and I can describe it, and we can go through some of the ramifications we need to. So in order, we have Barntar in the gold, and he is our nobleman. We have Ulvar, our barbarian warrior, famous across the land. We have in sand, we have Serana, who is effectively our leader, another barbarian, a nomad. We have Varlorn, in light brown. He is our ex-Selenic Empire. And we have our dwarf, Orston, in dark brown. So all nice muted colours as we go. Very RuneQuesty, I think you would agree. So Thrain, the outfitter's shop. It is a small timber frame building with a crooked sign swinging above the door declaring Thrain's provisions and sundries. So a very authentic feel. It's not very original, but it does what it says on the tin. The windows are cluttered with all manner of goods. There are coiled ropes, worn boots, iron cooking pots, jars of dried herbs and trinkets from distant lands. Inside, the shelves are packed tight and the floor is scattered with stray bits of string, scraps of cloth, and the occasional curious animal that has wandered in. So, things like dogs and cats and all sorts of things. They do seem to have, this place does seem to have a bit of an attraction for stray animals. And there are quite a lot of domestic pets in Silverford, so it does seem to be a haven for these animals. We do know that our characters, they do have this guild letter from Harkin, the guildmaster, which they can use to access Thrain's supplies on credit. And I am assuming that this letter carries enough weight that it should convert any negative reactions into a temporary annoyance or maybe a mood swing from Thrain. So I'm not expecting him to be really quite awful to us. Hopefully, he should by presentation of this grand letter from the guild, his eyes should light up and think, yes, I can get some credit here. They will recompense me through the amazing transaction system of a Bronze Age society. So something has been arranged with the guild already. So what about the owner Thrain? So I'll use this blue one here as the owner Thrain, and he greets the characters as they come in. Oh, welcome. Oh, yes, I see you are adventurers. Many of you seem to have come from distant lands across the Great Vale. This is most interesting for me. So Thrain, he's a short, rotund man with a shock of white hair sticking out in all directions. With a fondness, we notice, of muttering to himself about stock, bargains, and fantastical rumours. So he says, please tell me your stories. I am all ears. I really like to have, learn about distant lands and lots of interesting things that are happening across the Great Vale. These are strange times that have come upon us, and it is a joy to behold adventurers that seem to have come from the far corners of this wonderful world. Let us press him and say, Thrain, we do want to tell you some stories, but we have a purpose, and we'll have Serana, and I'm going to say that Serana is quite direct in getting over the demands of the character and cuts through any form of procrastination from Thrain. But what I want to do is I want to employ my rule of three mechanic and just get an idea of what kind of mood he's in, or how well he takes this quite direct approach from Serana. So I'm going to get my percentage dice, and I'm going to roll a percentage and see how this goes down. So let's do it on this piece of paper here. So we get a 40, and that is good because that is on the high. And the reaction of Thrain to this rather direct approach, as I've said, is he cheerfully engages the party, showing them useful items and giving helpful advice or gossip. So that is exactly the reaction we want. So we chalk that one up as a win for Serana. She used quite a bit of social interactive skill, done the job. She explains that their wants are limited to standard adventuring gear and maybe some outdoor equipment. And we go through his inventory. He does have an extensive stock, so it's all the kind of classics. We want a bit of rope, we want some lanterns, we want some hooks, we want some, maybe a pole or two, that type of thing. A few flasks and some backpacks, all that good stuff. And what I'll do is I'll go away and I'll beaver away. I'll get a list of equipment. I don't want to drag it down with those details at this juncture just now. And as I said, the wants are limited. It's not really an extensive inventory that they're going on about. The characters place their order, and Thrain explains that these will be ready to collect in a day or two. And he says, I have plenty of stock out the back, and I will go through and peruse this. If I require further updates, I can get some further supplies from Dorawaith. It might take a day or two for that, but I will inform you anon. I presume you are staying in the Silver Inn, and we say yes. That is where we are. And he says that yes, well, I can send my boy and he can update you as to the progress, but I would advise you to come back in a day or two. So we say this is very good. Thank you, Thrain. It's been a pleasure doing business. And you almost feel that ching ching in the doorbell goes. Even though there's not a doorbell, we leave the premises and we return to the Silver Inn and see if we can pick up on what is happening in the village. And we have been thinking about this, maybe recruit or befriend a guide who can give us a tour of the place, because that's the next thing we want to do on the agenda, is to we've just left this abode. We go back to the Silver Inn. So we trundle out of Thrain, go back to the Silver Inn, and our thoughts are to getting some form of guide or someone who can give us a tour of the place. And we did have, I suppose we did have some people that we had met in the actual, we've got Brint that we rescued, and Bale, who is the trader, but we presume that Bale is probably off on business. Brint might be a good point, and he might be someone that we could take on as our, almost like our specific tailored guide. He owes us a debt, obviously, because we rescued him out in the forest. Will he repay the debt? And we get back, and lo and behold, Osric is there, and he says, I have news for you, adventurers. You are in luck. The elders, they have volunteered the hunter Ketran, and this is Ketran's house here. He is a hunter of the village, and he has been nominated, because of your importance, to show you around, and maybe the environs of Silverford, and also the hinterland around the forest, and some of the hills where the hill tribes are. And Osric explains that Ketran, he is an expert in the local forest and a respected village resident. Unfortunately, he is currently out hunting, but the word is that he will return later this afternoon. So Ian, Osric invites you to imbibe on his beers. He has a fine selection, a very good stock, and of course Ulvar and Barntar are absolutely at the front of the queue, including Orstan, who says, right, we can have a bit of a drinking contest. Where did we finish last time? So this is all an excuse to maybe just spend some hours learning the rhythms of Silverford. And what we do, we pick up, we can use this again as a bit of an inn surrogate. And we've got Osric this time. He's in white. He's the white one. And we're all having a nice time, having a bit of a drink around this one of the tables. Just put us over here. And the things that we're picking up is that trade is slow this season. People seem to be worried, but avoid speaking openly about the woes of Silverford. It's almost in hushed tones, and they're almost like putting on a bit of an act that things are normal, but you get the feeling that they're not. And there also seems to be the emanation of some rumours, and the mention of goat men is they are being whispered privately. So all this stuff is swirling around in the and swirling being the operative word, as our characters get slightly inebriated with this very nice beers, and we're enjoying a bit of downtime. Thinking that we had such a traumatic day yesterday, surely we deserve a bit of a rest. And we have an excuse. We're waiting for this Ketran, and he's not turned up yet. And we realize that dusk is approaching, so the hunter, he must have been delayed. And unfortunately, the characters have been enjoying their downtime a little too much, and they now feel that they are quite ensconced in the place for the evening. Varlon, our ex-Selenic, ex-slave, he's betraying his optimistic nature, and he utters the fatal words, "I'm looking forward to a pleasant evening in this fine establishment." Yes, just at that moment, bang. In fact, I have to get a different pawn. I'll use this one. The door slams wide open, and it bursts open. The cold night air sweeps in, and a man stands outlined in the torchlight. He is Hrothgar the Smith. His face is ashen. His voice cracks as he shouts, "Oswin, has anyone seen my girl? Hilda should have been home by now. She was bringing bread to the granary. Gods preserve us." The inn falls silent. A few villagers exchange tense glances. They feared something like this could happen. Oswin quickly turns to the adventurers. "Gilfolk, you'll want to hear this." We certainly do. This is our breaking news development in Silverford. Let us follow our noses and see where this takes us. What about what? There is consternation amongst the occupants. We ascertain through conversations and just picking up on the vibe. And I'll just remove this again so that we've got a clear view of this particular Silverford inn. It appears that Hilda, Hrothgar's child, was delivering an offering of bread to the communal granary and hasn't returned. And this is what younger children do in this place. And they have this communal granary in Silverford, where people can go if they are a bit short, and they can get there's offerings. And for some of the people, like the guards that are working, they can come in and pick up some food and just have that to keep them going. Osrin is worried, and he urges help and consoles Hrothgar. He says to Hrothgar, "Don't worry, we will find Hilda. We will find her, Hrothgar. Look over there, we have fine adventurers to help us." And Brint turns up, our little friend Brint. His wounds are all healed now. He's not looking too bad. And he mutters. He says, "I told the elders there were signs." So it's a case of "I told you so." And he said, it's almost like some of the villagers were almost waiting for this to happen. We conclude the granary is the best place to head to and seek out we seek out to find this missing child. The other sad fact that we gain is that she is only 10 years of age. Oh dear. So it's looking rather grim. We head off to the granary, we will take Hrothgar with us. Lead on, Hrothgar. Tell us where this granary is. Let us find it. So, at the granary. So we arrive at the granary with Hrothgar. The adventurers accompany Hrothgar. The granary is dark, a lantern left on the step. This scene, it is quiet, it's eerie. They feel there is a feeling of dread growing in their hearts. What about searching for some clues? So we kind of split up and we're starting to search around. And Hrothgar is getting agitated. He says, "You must find something." And probably the first thing that we do and we find, and is quite obvious, is we discover a basket of bread rolls that looks like Hilda had carried and has been dropped on the ground. And it's probably going to be seen by one of our characters. In fact, we'll do a D6 because let's include Hrothgar in it. So we'll go from 12 o'clock all the way around and find out which one it is. So it's Ulvar. Ulvar says, "Look what I found. I have found these bread rolls. I am assuming this is Hilda's." And Hrothgar goes, "Oh yes, that is. I recognize it. So we have found some bread rolls. What other grim things are we going to get?" And Serana says, "Well, why don't we move out of the granary and see if we can." And actually, on the map, this is where the granary is. It's on just behind the village longhouse. So we've had to trek over here. And she says, "Why don't we move out here beyond and up to the perimeter of the fence?" Or it's rather kind of optimistic name, stockade. And why don't we see if we can find anything with our tracking skills? So let's have a look at some of our characters and see what they've got. So we've got Barntar, and see what he's got for tracking. He's not very good. Serana is, she's got 25%. Varlin has got no tracking skill. And Orstan has got, no, he has not got anything of note. But I think Ulvar's got tracking of 50. So Ulvar is our tracker, and we can use Serana too as backup. She's got 25%. So if we go for Ulvar, and he's got 50%, and we've got Serana and she's got 25%, we'll do some tracking outside, and the longer we take, it could be time critical. So Ulvar does the first bit of tracking, and he says, "Right, let's go out the back of this granary and see what I can see." And he starts looking around, a bit kind of rangerish. Let's see what he picks up. So 93, he doesn't see anything. He says, "It's too dark out here. Bring a light." So Serana, let's see what she can get. She gets a 60, so she can't see anything either. So is there anyone else we're going to have to spend a bit of time? So this is actually adding some time on. So let's put on about another 10 minutes we have to spend. And the rest of the characters, maybe they have small chances of finding something, just some residual ability. So say they got like 10% each. So we'll do the other ones in turn. So we'll do Barntar, and he can't do anything. We'll do Varlon, he doesn't. And we'll do Orstan, dwarf, and see if he picks up any earth signs. 99, maybe he just falls over. He's a bit drunk. He can't see anything. So we've wasted a little bit of time. So we get a chance to do it again, but we've wasted quite a bit of time. That's not a good look. So 50% Ulvar. 14, luckily he does. And he says, look what I've seen. And he finds some small bare footprints which lead away towards the perimeter. From here towards the perimeter, then stop. Okay, so footprints that lead away and then stop. Okay, let us continue to look. We will continue with the searching, and we've got a chance with Serana and see whether she can pick anything up. 93, so she doesn't. We'll do Ulvar again, because this is a fresh search that he's doing roundabout where these footprints are, and he's ranging around. So he gets, yes, he does, 19. And he says, right, I can see these things next to it as well. I can see some cloven prints beside these footprints. So we've got some cloven prints. And they lead away to a low point in the makeshift stockade. Okay, so we've got these, say we've found the prints here. We move over to, if you can actually see that, make sure it's in the camera. We found the first thing, which was the footprints leading away and stopping, and then the cloven ones over here. And they seem to lead away to a low point in this makeshift stockade. It's only about 4 feet in this section and still largely stout fencing, and it's not been fortified. So it looks as though someone or something has found a weak spot and managed to exploit it. Okay, so good discovery. We've made 3. We've done the bread rolls. We've done the footprints that lead away and stop. And then we've got these cloven prints. What could they be? The mind is racing. I think it's pretty obvious what these things are. Let us go beyond the fence, and we jump across the fence. And we start to range out just before the threshold of the forest. So we'll have Ulvar do his bit of, see if he's on a bit of a roll. And he gets 23, he does. And he goes, I found this. There's a patch of foul mucus on a low stone. So we have a low stone, and there is a mucus. And good old Ulvar, he'll get a good training roll, experience roll for this, because he's doing quite well. And they're going, this is disgusting. Has anyone got any ability to, we're not going to do any taste, because that's a Stormbringer rule. But I don't think we've got any specific abilities to find out what this is, but we can probably guess it's some chaos creature. Let us not touch this. It is foul smelling. Blech. It is mucus. But this is another clue. We can follow in this direction. So we've got a bit of an alert, and it's leading further towards the tree line. Are we going to find anything else? We'll get Ulvar doing the job, doing his Sherlock Holmes. And he gets a 52, so he just missed. Let's do Serana. Otherwise, we're going to take a bit of time, so she doesn't. Any of the other characters maybe just have a 10% chance. So we don't have anything from Farlan. We don't have anything from Barntar, and we don't. And 80. So definitely Orstan is really quite still a bit inebriated. He hasn't really sobered up yet. I thought these dwarves were quite stout at taking their drink. We are about another 10 minutes on, so this isn't looking too good. We continue with our search. So we'll get Ulvar. He finds something. So this is the last clue that we probably need to find. It's a strip of bright cloth snagged on a thorn bush. So cloth, thorn bush. And we asked the sad question to Hrothgar. Does this look like Hilda's? Something of her clothing. And sadly, he almost gives a whimper sadly, that is the case. Just at that time, Thane Holstor turns up. He is panting. He's arriving. He's breathless. He's carrying his spear. He says, "We form a search party now." He's really quite insistent. He looks to the adventurers as natural leaders. That is his view that the adventurers are here. They're doing their duty for the village. Just afterwards, it must have been following Helster, is Mildritha, Elder Mildritha. She arrives carrying ritual items and looking quite angry. And she says, "No one enters the wood until the spirits are consulted. Arousing chaos in the dark will dim us all." Oh, so we are having a bit of a conflicting debate between the two leaders, the patriarch and the matriarch of the village. And in the meantime, poor old Hrothgar is basically almost foaming at the mouth. He's really quite despondent. The rest of our characters are slightly bemused. So, will we follow Hailstor? With his practical, immediate action outlook. Will we follow Mildretha and have this ritual caution and omen seeking, which is a big thing? Or will we strike out alone before either can decide? And I would say that we have spent a lot of time. We've spent extra time because we have not got all our ducks in a row when it came to the tracking. So we've already spent at least 20 minutes doing all this type of stuff. Barntar, he steps forward, he urges speed, and he says, "We must have speed, we must be decisive." And Ulvar for once agrees with Barntar, and he shouts a defiant war cry. He goes, "Oolah!" And the rest of the party reluctantly agree. Yes, I suppose we must venture into this dark wood. It could be a foolhardy mission, but we must do what must be done. So, Orstan kind of reluctantly, he says, "Well, at least it will give me a chance to show off my sprinting abilities, which I am dying to show off." So on that little witty quip, we head off into the dark forest. So not too clever. We haven't got all our adventuring equipment. We've really just got our weapons and armor. That should be sufficient. So into the forest edge, the adventurers, they follow the spur into the dark tree line, and mist gathers at ankle height. The forest falls completely silent. A pungent smell hangs heavily. So let us continue with our tracking. We are moving into the darkness. We've lit our lantern. We have to have some light with which to see. This will help Ulvar, hopefully, and see. So the first thing he's going to do is he says, "Right, we come across a broken child's charm." So we get a child's charm is broken. And we ask Hrothgar, is this, yes. He says, yeah, unfortunately, that is the case. So we continue. We do a bit of Ulvar again. He's doing a great job. He's terrific. That's an 18. He says, I see with my trained eyes. Can you see those scratches on the tree trunk? 3 parallel gashes. Right, okay, we see them. The 3 gashes on the tree trunk. We continue on another 10 meters, not far. 21. Ulvar again. He says, "What? Can you see that shape?" What shape, Ulvar? It is some stones piled in the form of the Chaos Rune. And so the Chaos Rune is this actual shape. and I will find it. I think it's towards the front of this. So in some stones that have been piled into this strange shape, we see this shape, the two horns and the black spot of chaos, and we almost like cover our eyes. It is an abomination of a thing to see, but we note that down as a rune, a runic sign. So the chaos rune formed from stones. So Ulvar is doing a grand job, and we're piecing together all this information. Are we getting closer to our target? Let us carry on, see where this chaos rune takes us. Ulvar can't find anything. He's ranging out. Serana, 91, she can't. What about, we'll go through the other suspects. 10%. Ah, is that Barntar? Is that Barntar? And Barntar says, can you hear those? I can hear something. And he hears buzzing flies, and something is hidden in the bush, in the brush. And he goes over and he goes, oh, this is revolting. It's a dead rabbit that appears to be ripped in two. So that is disgusting. And he says, why do I make that type? You get all the good stuff, Ulvar, and I make this disgusting discovery. This torn rabbit in two. That's not very nice at all. I'm going to have nightmares now. We have found a lot of information. The party, having acted alone in order to get what they believe to be the bruise with the child, move further into the depths of the forest. So we have maybe ascertained all these different clues, and we are coming to a bit of a conclusion that they are probably to do with some form of brew encounter. Let us continue with our lantern. And Hrothgar says, I am scared. Please protect me. Make sure that no abomination. I do adore my daughter, but this is very, very frightening. Surely you can help me find her. And we say, rest assured, Hrothgar, we are here to help. You have nothing to worry about. We are trained in these pursuits. This is part of our oath to hearken that we would protect the villagers of this place. Okay, so the forest at night is not dark, it is absolute. The canopy swallows the last embers of twilight, and their lantern throws only a trembling circle of gold against trunks that lean like accusing shadows. The air is thick with the smell of damp earth, and something foul beneath it, a sour, rotting musk that clings to their throat. Somewhere ahead, branches snap. Then silence. Then something breathes. Wet, rattling, too loud to be human. The party hears it before they see anything. Low grunts, like animals fighting over scraps. Then a sound like laughter, not mirthful, but mocking, broken, a bleating jeer. A shape moves at the edge of their lantern light. The eyes catch the glow first. Yellow, reflective, menacing. Well, that is quite a bit of a cliffhanger. Who is carrying these menacing eyes? What terrible fate awaits our characters? What do they need to do in this dark forest? It is almost the late evening. It has got dark very quickly. There's something to do with the chaos that's distorting the weather and the canopy of the forest, making it dark. We have a bit of a confrontation on our hands, so we'll get a good chance to use the RuneQuest combat system straight off the bat in the next episode. We are bound to fight, if one or more opponents for us to take on. And my goodness, is there anything more emblematic of RuneQuest then the bruise. Here's a quick, because, you know, a bit of a spoiler, that is what these are going to be. They are going to be bruise. We're going to have, they are a classic RuneQuest creature. And let's see if there's any description. I don't think there's a picture in the original, which is a bit of a shame because they really are quite... I'd probably have to get Cults of Terror out, get a picture. And bruise, they are human-bodied and goat-headed. The bruise or goatkin are tied irrevocably with the rune of chaos. They are given to atrocities and foul practices and carry numerous loathsome diseases. They will hire out for pay, but Tusk Riders are more desired as mercenaries, and that's saying something. They are immune to all poisons and diseases. Their usual armor is generally Kerbole, although they will wear metal if they can scrounge or steal it. Human and dwarf smiths will not sell their armor or weapons, I have no doubt. They are powerful, they are strong, they are going to be difficult creatures to fight. I think we'll get a good chance to show off the RuneQuest combat system. We've had a bit of a smattering of that with our training, a bit of that training session that we had, but we haven't really had a full-on confrontation and just finding out how all the characters interplay, and we can do all that kind of strike rank stuff and all that good kind of combat rigmarole, and let's see how that simulates on the on camera. I had to think I've actually seen a full-blown RuneQuest combat in action on YouTube, and I have been looking around, and certainly not for one of the older editions. You know, this is second edition, so I think there's going to be fun trying to simulate this and just seeing all the, you know, where the hit locations land, what limbs are severed, what armor is penetrated, all that good stuff. So I'm quite looking forward to that, and that was part of the point of this episode, was to give a bit of setup so that we could have this type of thing. Just moving on, thinking about the campaign in general, this is going to be a bit of a preamble into something a bit more extensive. These brews have got probably got a bit of an agenda. You know, why are they stealing children? Why are they starting to probe out this village? Are they part of an overall scheme? I have a feeling that that is the case, and they are part of maybe an overall conspiracy that is affecting. Maybe there are some insiders in the village. We did hint at maybe cultists as being something to be watching out for. I don't want to give too much away. I am going to be working on that. Also, once we come back to the village, we can explore more of it, and I can have a bit more of this village actually fully mapped out, and we could maybe find out some more information from some of the NPCs. There are bound to be some adventures to do in the village itself, and maybe do a bit more detective work like we were doing, and finding and rooting out some of these cultists that are going to be occupying positions, finding out who they are. That could be a bit of fun, trying to discern that. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that, and you can understand that I probably can't fit in a full-blown combat in the same episode. That would probably go on for about 2 or 3 hours. But that is... Take on board the fact that we're going to have this straight off the bat. For the next episode, we're going to have a full-on confrontation. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.